to church service in defiance of this governor. Now, we exercised restraint. We stayed in our car. We listened to the sermon on the radio. But even that was supposed to be, the governor told us on Easter Saturday, don't go to church, even if you're sitting in your car. We did the least restrictive means possible so that we could worship Almighty God and the hope of salvation that His Son's resurrection gives us in defiance of an oppressive state regime. Now, we're peaceably assembling here. I'm sure somebody's going to be writing down my name on my license plate. But, we can make our own decisions about social justice. I mean, I have not shaken have I shaken anybody's hand here? No. I'll elbow bump because that's what that's fine. But that is something where we can all be responsible. I have an elderly mother, an elderly father-in-law, and my grandmother-in-law is 98 years old. They have compromised immune systems. I'm going to be very careful with them, but I can be responsible. I have freedom and liberty and the ability to make wise choices, even if this governor doesn't think so. So, how many of y'all are supporters of the Second Amendment? Now again, I'm trying not to make this too political, but I am the only Senate candidate who has been endorsed by Gun Owners of America. I'm the only candidate running for the U.S. Senate that has stood up publicly for our Second Amendment rights, not just once, but multiple times. Remove the red flag law! The right to defend ourselves is a God-given right. It is a free political right that predates the Constitution. And everybody standing here knows that the only way you stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun. Can I have an amen? Now, on the national level, President Trump made it abundantly clear that retail gun sales are essential activities. Supporting law enforcement and giving law enforcement a shooting range to practice and qualify is an essential activity. Again, this governor didn't pay attention to constitutional law. What part of shall not be infringed does she not understand? All of it! But, the governor's going after all the gun stores, including those that supply law enforcement, including Papa's Pawn Shop there in Grants. If Sheriff Mace is here, he was telling me that's where he shops. That's where he buys some of his equipment. That's supporting law enforcement. Even in the plain language of the governor's rule, that should have been an exception. But for her unconstitutional shutdown order, the governor has also violated due process and the takings clause of the Fifth Amendment, which together states that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
Yeah.
Interestingly, there's a case called Penn Central before the Supreme Court that says if it's a totally broad shutdown, it actually isn't a regulatory taking. If it's completely broad, but what this governor's doing, she's picking winners and losers. She is deciding that some of you are less essential. It's sort of like George Orwell. All animals are created equal. Some are just more equal than others.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, again. So why is it that that Walmart can sell furniture and the small mom and pops on Main Street can't sell furniture? Why is it that we have to shut down the gun stores but Walmart can sell ammunition? And I'm not against Walmart. I want Walmart to be open, but I want the mom and pop stores to be open as well because they too are essential for economic prosperity here in New Mexico. Small business is the engine of job creation that is going to bring us back from the brink of economic collapse. It is going to be the small business owner creating jobs. That's what we need. We don't need more capitalism, more cronyism or crony capitalism. We need to support small business and entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into too much nerdy legal detail, but in my prepared remarks, I got some analysis. There was a great analysis by some lawyers at Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher that routinely are defending constitutional rights beforehand. So I'll make sure that those are available. Now, sometimes the Supreme Court might use a lesser standard than strict scrutiny for equal protection and due process in commercial settings. But again, if it's going to be a fact-based analysis. They're going to look at it to see what did this governor decide was essential, what did this governor decide was not essential. And if that's arbitrary and capricious, she'll get her clock cleaned at the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Now, that's, so again, we go back to the 14th Amendment, which has a due process protection and an equal treatment under the law protection. And it clearly says that applies to the states. So I am confident in saying that what this governor is doing is unconstitutional from a whole, violating the First Amendment, the Second
Thank you.
Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and the Contracts Clause, which isn't an amendment to the Constitution, it's a core part of the Constitution in Article 1, Section 10.